Hey YouTube, Canuck Hacker here once again, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different than I've been doing lately, and that is showing you how to make your own Greek-style yogurt at home using your crock pot or slow cooker. Very, very simple to do. Anybody can do it. Alright, so to start with, you're just going to need a basic slow cooker. Okay, so what we want to do to start is we want to turn this on to low heat. Okay? And all we're going to do is we're going to take our milk. I use, in Canada it's called homogenized milk or homo milk. In the States you're going to use whole milk. It's basically like 3.25% fat, so it's a higher fat content. If you want your yogurt to turn out with less fat content, you can use 2% or 1%, but you're not going to get as much of a yield out of it because the milk's not going to have as many solids in it. Cut open your bag if you're here in Canada. If you're in the States, open up your jug. Go ahead and just pour it into your crock pot. Fill your crock pot so that you got about 1.5 inches across the top here of space, and then you're perfect. Alright, so very simple. We're going to go ahead and just put our lid on. We're going to go ahead and let this sit for about 2.5–3 hours on low heat. Very simple. Basically, we just want to warm this milk up and get all the cultures going in it and make it nice and happy. Back in about 2.5–3 hours. Okay, so our milk has been sitting in our slow cooker now for about 3 hours. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our lid off. Now, some people I know at this point, there may be a little skin that's collected along the top. So the next thing we need to do is we need to add in our bacteria cultures to turn this hot milk into yogurt. What we're going to do is we're going to take any old plain yogurt, and this is what we're making is plain yogurt, so basically we're using this to make more. So we're going to use some plain yogurt. This has all the bacteria in it that we need and all the cultures in it that we need to turn this into yogurt. So you can go and buy yogurt making cultures. If you prefer, you would add them at this stage. I think this is much easier, and I don't really know what the cost of the cultures is because I've never bought it, but this is probably cheaper too. So the thing about 0% yogurt that you have to watch out for is to check the ingredients to see if there's gelatin added. This one does not have gelatin added. This here, like I said, is 2 2/3 liters or quarts. So what I typically do is I do about 1 scoop from a wooden spoon per 1 1/3 liters because that's per bag that we're using. So in this case we use 2 bags, so we're going to do 1 scoop, and 2 scoops. And we're just going to stir that into our warm milk. What you want to do is you just want to stir it around until your spoon comes out pretty clean. Once your spoon has come out mostly clean like this one, you know that you've moved around all of your yogurt in there and most of it's dissolved into the milk, and we've transferred all that bacteria and cultures around to where we need it. So the next step is another simple one. We're going to put our lid back on. We are going to turn our heat off, and we are going to take ourselves a nice big towel or blanket, preferably clean because we are making food here. This is one just out of the wash, and we are going to cover it up. Simple as that. We want to keep that heat in there that's going to be created. Now it's already warm, but the cultures and bacteria that is actually going to grow in here should also cause an exothermic reaction, so it's going to keep it warm for an extended period of time. We want to keep that warmth in there because as long as it's warm, the bacteria and cultures can continue to eat and grow and spread themselves out and turn all of the solids inside of our milk into curds and separate it out from the whey. Alright, so this usually takes about 12 hours. Usually what I like to do is I like to do the heating of the milk about 3 hours before I'm going to go to bed. I add the yogurt in right before I'm going to go to bed, and then the next day, a little while after I get up, a few hours into the afternoon, it's ready to go. Alright, so we'll see you back in about 12 hours then. Okay, so our hot milk with our yogurt cultures in it has sat now for over 12 hours, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the blanket. So just grab yourself something to stir it up with, and you should end up with something that looks a little bit like very liquidy yogurt. Get everything from the edges. Alright, now we're ready to strain it. Now, if you want, just runny yogurt, like for making smoothies, things like that, you don't really need to strain it at this point. The whey that's in it is actually super, super healthy for you. But if you want some sort of thick Greek-style yogurt, that's the step that we're going to do next. Alright, so let's set that aside. Now what I like to use is a big stock pot. And the reason I like to use that is for catching all that whey. I don't want to throw any of it out. There's actually a ton of different uses for it. You can actually check out a video I'm going to be making with this whey, showing you a few different things that you can do with the whey after you're done with making your yogurt, rather than throwing it down the drain. So use a big container that's going to have lots of room from the bottom of your colander for the whey to collect. And you want your colander to be able to sit on the top of it, because this is going to take quite a while for it to strain out. So we want to be able to put this in the fridge. Alright, so you have a few different options. You can use cheesecloth. I don't tend to use it. I find that I lose a lot of yogurt in the cheesecloth itself because it's so porous that it ends up getting stuck in the cheesecloth and it's really hard to get out and ends up getting thrown out. So I don't use cheesecloth. You can use paper towel. I've used that before. As long as it's a good quality paper towel, you can line your colander with that really easily, and the yogurt scrapes off the paper towel really easily. But my favorite thing to use is actually a piece of fabric. You can use a pillowcase or just any piece of fabric. You can use an old t-shirt that you've cut. I often use handkerchiefs. The most important thing is just to make sure it's really clean, because obviously, well, stuff you're eating is going to be sitting on it. So this is a piece of cloth that I just cleaned and made sure it was super sanitary. And we're just going to put that on the inside of our colander. Now the important thing is you want to be able to have something that's going to completely cover your colander, but then you want to take this extra fabric and you want to tuck it inside of your stock pot, or your bowl that you're collecting inside of. And the reason for that being is your whey is going to wick up the edges. You don't want to end up with drips all over your fridge, because it will make quite the mess. Alright, once we've got that line, very, very simple. We're just going to simply take our crock pot and we're going to dump everything from our crock pot into our colander. Alright, now you just want to loosely cover the top of this so that nothing drips into it from the fridge. Usually just either a plate over top of it or some saran wrap or aluminum foil is great. And then you want to place this in the fridge at least overnight. Just keep in mind, the longer you leave it, the thicker it's going to get. Now, if you're not believing me about keeping the whey, just a few things to throw out at you. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do my whey video on yet, but you can make a whey lemonade drink that is super, super healthy for you. Whey has a ton of proteins, enzymes, minerals, vitamins. It's really super healthy for you. You can use it instead of milk inside of fruit smoothies or protein shakes. Use it instead of milk or water in pretty much any recipe, like baking cakes or buns or muffins. Instead of stock in soups, you can use it for soaking grains instead of using water, cooking pasta, potatoes, or rice in. Just keep in mind that if you do boil it, you're going to kill off a lot of that raw nutrients, but at least it's better than throwing it in the garbage. You can put it in your compost, which again is better than flushing it down the toilet or dumping it down the drain. You can also water it down, and you can use it to water your plants, and it's super healthy for your plants. You don't want to use the raw whey on your plants though, because it will burn the roots. And I did see a really cool recipe for making a whey lemon meringue pie, or a whey lemon pie. I can't remember if that's meringue or not now. Anyways, so I'm not really sure what it is that I'm going to make for you guys and show you in the next video, but definitely I will list all the things that I've found that you can do with the whey that are much better than dumping it down the toilet or dumping it down the sink. Okay, so go ahead and cover this up, put it in your refrigerator, and we'll check back in with you tomorrow. Okay, so our yogurt is fresh out of the refrigerator. It's been in there for about 36 hours, and I think we've got ourselves a nice thick yogurt. So if we look at our yogurt, you can see how thick it is. That is real thick Greek yogurt. Stuff on the sides is even thicker, obviously. That's what it looks like. We're going to scoop out all of our yogurt into a big bowl here and give you an idea as to how much yogurt we got. Alright, there is still a little bit of whey left in this, I can tell. So if I had let it sit a little bit longer, we could have gotten it even thicker, but this is so thick it could probably stop a bullet. So For the sake of our video, that's good enough. I probably will scrape the rest of this off with a butter knife later, but for now this will work for me. Just take your cloth, put it inside of your colander, and set that aside. Okay, so we probably got about 1.5 large yogurt containers worth of yogurt. So that was out of 2 2/3 liters, or 2 2/3 quarts roughly, of milk. Basically 2/3 of a 4-liter jug. Alright, so now for the whey. Like I said to you before, don't throw out your whey. No point in that. Alright, so that is a liter there. I probably have another half liter. Let's see. Wow, I'm good. Just over half of a liter. Alright, so we've got 1.5 liters of our whey. Okay, like I said before, I really do recommend that you don't throw out your whey. This would be what we call a sweet whey. The alternative to that would be an acidic whey that would come from making cheese or something like that that you'd use vinegar or another acid for. This one here is what we call a sweet whey. There are a ton of different things that you can use this whey for. I will make some videos in the future on a few different things you can do with the whey. But if you don't want to use it right away, the easiest thing to do is put it in some ice cube trays or a freezer bag and put it in the freezer, and it'll keep for a long time. Not 100% sure how long it keeps for, but I don't think it goes bad anytime soon. Alright, so now for the all-important taste test. For that, remember this is 100% plain yogurt, so we are going to sweeten it. I am going to sweeten my yogurt with a little bit of honey. When I store this in the fridge, I don't sweeten it or anything that way. Everybody can sweeten it to their own taste. You could sweeten it with honey, you could sweeten it with sugar if you want to, that kind of defeats the purpose. Agave syrup, whatever it is that you like. Maple syrup, if you're up here in Canada or in the United States, is a really delicious thing in this kind of yogurt. I'm going to sweeten it with honey and some fresh fruit, and we'll see what the kids think. Alright guys, so Daddy made some fresh yogurt, and you guys are going to taste test it for me. So I have some fresh fruit and some honey for you.
That's enough for you. Yeah, that's enough. No, let me do it.
Alright, go ahead. Yeah, give it a try. Make sure you have a little bit of honey on there, some strawberries. Raven is definitely a mixer. Is that good?
I got the deliciouser one.
Alright, on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the most amazing thing you've ever eaten, which is probably not a 10, and 0 being the worst thing you've ever eaten.
10.
10, okay.
10.
10?
150,000. 150,000.
Wow, and how many thumbs?
And 60.
There you go. How many thumbs, Graydon?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And it ends up on 100.
Alright guys, so what did you think?
Good, I didn't even eat mine.
Well, you need your seconds. What did you think?
Good.
Good? Is it really yummy? Should I make it again?
Yes.
So the next time only strawberries, no blackberries?
Yes.
What do you think about using maple syrup instead of
No,
honey?
no.
What do you think about using maple syrup instead of honey? Would you like that?
Let's use both.
So I think that this was a pretty big success. How many thumbs up, guys? 2 thumbs up?
150 and 2 and 1 and 0 and 63 and 64, 65 and...
If you're like us, you're probably not going to have any leftovers. But if you do have leftovers, just store it in your fridge in a yogurt container or a Tupperware container. And it should last you for quite some time.
A big thumbs up.
Or at least as long as it takes for somebody to sneak in and eat it. So that is how you make super delicious, super healthy Greek-style yogurt.
Greek style. I thought you said Greek.
Freak-style yogurt.
Like, comment, and some honey with that. Like, comment, and some Like, comment, and some honey. Goodbye, people. Whoever's watching this. Of the world. Good night. Like, comment, and some subscribe.